Hi everyone, and good morning, my dear YouTube friends. Today, I continue my Sri Lanka Uncovered journey to the city of Anuradhapura. My mission today is to find out why the city suddenly disappeared, back then, in the year of 993 Anno Domini, after flourishing for more than 1,300 years. Come, join me and let's find out together. Now, while I am driving along this beautiful scenery, the journey from here in Dambulla to the city of Anuradhapura will take me approximately 2 hours. And I will cover a distance of over 70 kilometers. And since Anuradhapura is yet another very important and historic place in Sri Lanka, let me talk a bit about the sad but highly interesting story of this city, and why it was possibly abandoned in the year of 993 Anno Domini. I mean, it was a highly successful and flourishing city, as well as the city of Sinhalese kings, for more than 1,300 years. And so I am very interested to learn more about its downfall. I learned that according to the historical chronicle of Sri Lanka, also called the Mavasa, that the sacred city of Anuradhapura was founded around 350 before Christ, by then King Pandukabhaya. He was the first king of the kingdom of Anuradhapura, and the sixth king since the arrival of Prince Vijaya, who came with his 700 followers. In the year of 543 before Christ, Prince Vijaya was banished from his homeland in India, and later fled to the island of Sri Lanka. It is written that he eventually brought the island under his control and established the kingdom around the area of Anuradhapura, and crowned himself as the king of Sri Lanka. But it was thanks to King Pandukabhaya that the city grew into a very prosperous and successful capital. King Pandukabhaya reigned from the year of 437 until the year of 367 before Christ. He named the city after his minister, called Anuradhapura, who was the one that first established the village here. For that time, it was a very modern city with gates and quarters for the traders. The city was covering a great area, and making it one of the largest cities on the continent. Not only it became Sri Lanka's very capital city of the kings, but it also flourished for more than 1,300 years to come. Then suddenly, in the year of 993, Anno Domini, things went terribly wrong here. King Raja I of the Chola dynasty sent a large army to invade the Anuradhapura kingdom, and with this also capturing the whole northern part of the island. He then renamed the entire region to Mamudi Chola Mandalam, and ruled it as a province of the Chola Empire. The Chola Empire constantly fought with the Sinhala kings from the Rahana kingdom of Sri Lanka, as the Sinhalese kings repeatedly attempted to overthrow the Chola occupation of Rajarata, trying very hard to unify the island, but unfortunately to no avail. Of course, due to this ongoing war, the city was completely destroyed and largely deserted for a long time to come. The Chola's dynasty also renamed the military outpost of Polonnaruwa to Jananatha Mangalam, and made it the new administrative commando center for the entire area. They then developed and built the Saivite temples in Polonnaruwa and Mahatitha, and turned their encampments into permanent military enclaves, with the aim for a very long occupation of their newly conquered land. They then even went further southwards, from Rajarata into Rahana, and tried to incorporate the whole of Sri Lanka into their Chola Empire. But fortunately, the Cholas never really consolidated their control, and so they failed conquering the southern parts of Sri Lanka. Nevertheless, the city of Anuradhapura burnt all the brunt. It was so badly hit that almost everyone fled the capital, and this, once graceful city, fell into a deep sleeping beauty sleep for many centuries to come. And for many centuries, it only continued as a small village, in the midst of a largely deserted jungle forest. The only visible remains were a large tank, some numerous stone pillars, and 2 or 3 old dagoba, which are still considered a sacred spot, and a place of pilgrimage until today. Finally, and again after a long drive and much talking, I arrived here in the city of Anuradhapura. And my first visit here is the majestic Ruwanweli Maha Seya, or also known as the Maha Thupa or the Great Thupa. It was built, back in the year of 140 before Christ, by the Sinhalese king Jetavana. He became the king of Sri Lanka, after a war in which he defeated the Chola king, named Alara. The original stupa was about 55 meters in height, and it has been renovated by many kings over the centuries. Today and after its final restoration, this stupa is one of the world's tallest ancient monuments, standing at a proud height of 103 meters. With a circumference of totaling 290 meters, it is unbelievable, but this stupa was covered by wilderness up to the 19th century, and was only newly renovated in the early 20th century, with the final crowning taking place only a few years back, in 2019. Isn't this cool? Now this is what I call a nice breeze and a beautiful sight. I am here, at the Tissa Wewa, ancient reservoir, which was built by Devanampiya Tissa, in the 3rd century, before Christ, and to increase the water supply to his capital city of Anuradhapura. I also learned, that most of even today's embankment, appears to be in its original state, and that means that it is over 1,100 years old. It is built with a sturdiness that needs very little maintenance, while it is still continuing to feed the water to the city of Anuradhapura, until this very day. After enjoying a cool breeze at the Tissa Wewa Reservoir, I am now at the Vessagiriya, ancient Buddhist forest monastery complex, and located just around the corner from the reservoir. This very site has been used by Buddhist monks since the reign of King Devanampiya Tissa. So, that means, it has been used, also since around the 3rd century before Christ. And 7 centuries later, during the reign of King Kashyapa, in the year of 473 to the year of 491 Anno Domini, he expanded this Buddhist forest monastery, and created an elaborate complex, for more than 500 monks. Now, we remember King Kashyapa, from my last episode, as the king who transformed the Vessagiriya rock into a fortress, and a pleasure palace. These Vessagiriya monks lived here in the rock shelters, that were constructed by quarrying from local materials and finished using wood, and other perishable materials. Today, sadly all we can see is only the barren stones, and even some of the rocks disappeared over time, and they have been reused elsewhere in other projects. But luckily, we still can see the remains of 23 caves with drip ledges on the 2 rock formations that the monks used. Moreover, we also can see the still clearly visible building foundations, and one of them looks like a house with a kind of a dining room. Also, here are the remains of a rare type of a circular building. It comes without any statues or pedestals, but interestingly, the archaeologists have found over 70 rare coins, but then, the real purpose of the building is still a mystery, since there are no written records about this very structure. And last but not least, I am now at my final stop of today. The iconic Jetavana Stupa, which is located in the ruins of the Jetavana Monastery. It once stood at over 122 meters in height, and was the world's tallest stupa, and the 3rd tallest structure in the world, only behind, and overtaken, by the 2 Great Pyramids, located in Egypt. The Jetavana Stupa was built by then King Maha Seya of Anuradhapura, and later finished by his son Kitsarimavan. It was once the tallest structures in the ancient Asian world, but, with the unfortunate destruction and abandonment of the lively Anuradhapura kingdom, back in the 10th century, this stupa, together with other stupas, have taken a sad turn and been covered by the jungle. Only back in the 12th century, King Parakramabahu tried to renovate this stupa. He managed to rebuild it to its current height, of only 71 meters, unfortunately, well short of the original 122 meters. It is also noteworthy to mention that this stupa is located in a compound, covering an approximately 5.6 hectares, which covered houses and other notable structures, for a total of around 10,000 Buddhist monks, well back at its peak. But, as of today, even though it is no longer the tallest stupa, it is still the largest in length and width, measuring an astonishing 176 meters on each side, with a total base area of 233,000 square meters. What also blows my mind is how many of these baked bricks were used to finish this construction, and the number is just crazy. It is said that an approximate total of 93.3 million bricks have been used for this stupa. Now, just imagine the engineering ingenuity behind this construction. This was certainly a significant development in the history of Sri Lanka's construction technology. So, if you haven't seen it yet, don't wait any longer, and come to experience it, for real. As always, thanks for watching and see you in my next episode, where I will explore the ancient site of Mihintale, a mountain peak not far from Anuradhapura. And it is believed to be the inauguration place of Buddhism, here on the island of Sri Lanka. Don't miss it, subscribe and see you back, in my next episode, of Sri Lanka Uncovered.